Yeah, thank you. So we're going to start off with the club reports. So call it, whoa, never mind, sorry. Call it, you can lead that. Call each club up.
Okay.
Our A is president with 1 faculty advisor, 3 members, and 2 officers. Our past projects were the Literacy Project, Children and Youth Day, Albert Scott Fundraiser, Halloween Card Making, UNICEF, Susan G. Coleman, PTP Recycling, Kuakini, YMCA, Weed and Seed, Thanksgiving Card Making, and Westlock. Our upcoming is Angel Tree, Kuakini, Christmas Card Making, a social, Easter Seals, and PTPs.
Castle.
Castle is present with 1 officer. For our past events, we did the family activity night and run and read for literacy. For future events, we're going to participate with our Kiwanis in the Kaneohe Christmas Parade and the Salvation Army bell ringing. And we finally got our shirts. Yeah.
Barrington. Iolani.
Iolani is present with 5 members, 2 officers, 1 faculty advisor, 1 Kiwanis advisor, and 1 DIP team member. Our past projects include packing hugs and kisses for Key Club Week, trick-or-treating for UNICEF, chocolate extravaganza, intermediate speech and debate tournament, an Episcopal convention dinner, wait staffing, admission tours at Iolani, and our upcoming events include Family Sundays, the Honolulu Marathon working water security and lays, and baking 3,000 cookies for the foster kids.
Awesome.
Kaiser.
Kaiser is present with 4 officers, 1 member, and 2 faculty advisors. Our past events are Children and Youth Day, UNICEF, hugs, Krispy Kreme, canvassing, and fundraising, Operation Christmas Child shoebox collection. And we also have upcoming events are Salvation Army bell ringing and the Honolulu Marathon.
Marinol.
Marinol is present with 1 officer and 4 members. Past events include Children and Youth Day, Tag Project Clean, Kids Fest, Trick or Treat for UNICEF, Club Ice Cream Social, Bishop Museum Fashion Event, and Kanalu Adopt a Block. Upcoming events include Food Drive, Angel Tree Gift Wrapping, and Makiki Melakiki Maka. Woo!
Mililani. Pro City.
We're present with 6 members and 1 officer. Events we've done is Children Youth, Discovery Fair, Open Festival, Wild Cleanups, UNICEF boxes, and upcoming events is the Angel Tree.
Uno.
Uno is present with 4 officers, 19 members, 1 DIP team member, 1 faculty advisor, and 1 Kiwanis advisor. Our past events include Parent Ed Fair, Club Family Dinner, Discovery Center, the Keiki Costume Ball, Lacey Beach Day, UNICEF Trick or Treat, Children and Youth Day, and the Hawaii Stars Show volunteering. Our upcoming events include the Physicians Dinner at Kakulana Hospital, Honolulu Marathon, and Salvation Army bell ringing.
Roosevelt.
Roosevelt Key Club is present with 5 officers, 6 members, 1 Kiwanis advisor. Our past projects were the Po'oa Elementary School Fun Fair and KTIB. Our future projects are the Bank of Hawaii Family Sundays and the Honolulu Marathon.
St. Louis.
All right. St. Louis is present with 6 members, 5 officers, and our previous events were working with HBA's Interact Club, KTIB, UNICEF, and Children Youth Day. Our upcoming events are KFD, Relay for Life, Korean War Memorial Cleanup, Beach Cleanup, and helping at the Honolulu Marathon.
Oahu.
Okay. Oahu is present with 3 officers and 4 members. Our past events were the DCM, Kodawai Rap, Puhala Marsh, Kiko Birthday, Thanksgiving, Children and Youth Day. And our upcoming is Angel Tree, Concession, Stands at our school, Gift Wrapping, Sign Waving, and Penny War.
Are there any clubs that were not called? Okay. So now we'll move on to old business. So the 2013 Hawaii Convention will be held on February 15, 2012 at the Ala Moana Hotel. The cost will be $235 for convention registration plus, not plus. This is another time to attend workshops, meet new friends, but also reflect on this past year and select the new Division 22 Lieutenant Governor or Governors. Packets were sent out on November 9th and will be due on December 10th. And if you have any questions about the packet, please email TG Kelly or Region Advisor Mrs. Masuhara. Oh, and for you guys who do not know, this is Region Advisor Mrs. Masuhara. And this is TG Kelly. Now, do you guys have any questions about the Hawaii Convention? Okay. So, club dues, if you have not already submitted your club dues, please submit them before the Thanksgiving holiday. And if you're still having problems, please email Mrs. Masuhara.
Ask them with everybody. Has everybody at least begun the process?
Yes.
Okay, so there's nobody that's still having a hard time logging on or anything like that? Because if not, can you make sure you see me before you leave today? Thanks.
Now we'll move on to possible realignment for Division 22. A form was sent out to all the clubs in which their members should have shared their ideas. So, should you have them discuss it now?
I think that you should give them the form.
Okay. So now break up into your clubs within this room. So go do that. Send someone up from your school to get the form.
Is it okay if we're in a straight line, or do you want us to?
Well, put it this way, did you guys already discuss this? Is this something that you guys have to discuss?
Sorry guys.
Okay, but you can share with me.
Okay. It was like some, so do you guys remember from last time? Everyone was here.
Before you folks all do that, and I'm sorry to kind of take over from Jensen, it's just that before you can discuss, some of you maybe have discussed in your clubs already. Some of your advisors have emailed me, and so you're much more aware of what's going on than others maybe. So I thought that before we meet in a group to come to some kind of decision that your club would like to come to, this is what we're going to do today, maybe. Jensen gave you a paper, and it was just kind of guidelines, but what we need to know are the answers to several questions. Number 1, should we realign? Number 2, when do we realign? Number 3, how many divisions do we realign to? And number 4, which club is going to which division, right? So that's what we're going to discuss. That's what we're going to ask you to discuss and to make some decision about so that you can give the results to Jensen, and Jensen in turn will put it together and give it to Kelly. Kelly's going to get from each of the island coordinators. She has to put it together, and it's not a vote, although we're going to allow you to vote. It's not really a vote, because what we have to do is she has to come up with a recommendation, which she in turn has to give to the Kiwanis Lieutenant Governor, because the decision to realign and how to realign is a Kiwanis decision rather than a Key Club decision, okay? But we have talked, Kelly and I, to Lieutenant Governor J.P. Fields, and we have talked to some of the Kiwanis, and they said, we want to know what the students think. Some of the Kiwanis have ideas for themselves, but they want to know what you think. So I kind of think that they're going to really take into consideration your recommendation. But we did not want every club to give a recommendation, but rather put it all together, and Kelly will say, the 23 key clubs, this is their recommendation, because then it has a stronger voice. Okay, so before we break up into groups so that you can answer those questions that I just said, do you folks have anything that you would like us to discuss with you in large group, maybe to understand this whole issue of realignment better? I know you folks have talked about it because this has been something that from RTC that we first brought up and we really started to talk about it. And I know that individual clubs have talked about it, and then of course Jensen said at the last DCM you first talked about it also. Okay? No questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
We know kind of what's going on with our discussions in Oahu, but what kind of discussions have we heard back from Kauai and Maui and
Okay,
Hawaii?
to tell you the truth, Kauai is meeting today, right now. Maui will meet tomorrow. Big Island has already met. But last week, I came to Oahu and we had a DIV team walk through at Ala Moana Hotel, and we did some pre-convention planning, and we discussed this very thing. And what we did was we kind of polled the island coordinators, because they've been discussing it. And I think that you might say, the neighbor islands say, well, you know what? Because of the issue of money and flying, and the fact that the district will give us $750 for transportation, we should give that $750 to one lieutenant governor, tell him to do the neighbor islands. Then it's up to you folks to decide what you folks want to do. 1 division or 2 divisions, how you decide. That's kind of what the discussion went, but it's not in stone, not written in stone. So that was just kind of what they were thinking, because I think their biggest concern is money for transportation and how much the Kiwanis would have to help. You know, if you have to divide $750, and let's say you have 3, that's $250, so maybe that's 1 trip. Maybe 1.5 trips.
Oh, so with more LTGs, it doesn't mean we get more $750?
No, you get one $750, and each LTG, depending on the number of clubs in their division, gets $50 per club to run the whole thing. That's why actually Division 22 actually did really well, because we had 23 clubs times $50 plus $750. So we were able to allow them to travel more than the $750 worth, right? Because we had that extra money to do that. And so we also use that money for convention, because the other people on the mainland, they don't have conventions. They have what they call conclaves, which is a 1-day gathering to elect the LTG, and that's all. That's a good question, though. Are there any other questions? Where's Mrs. Hirohata? Oh. Mrs. Hirohata and the Honolulu Kiwanis are the ones that I was most concerned about, because they sponsor 7 key clubs. And the reason I was concerned is, depending on how you decide to divide Oahu or divide the whole state, if we divide Honolulu, let's say, Iolani and Kaiser, you're on this side or something, and Punho and somebody else is on this side. What if you have 2 lieutenant governors? So is your Kiwanis Club going to be able to sponsor the 2 lieutenant governors? If you want to have an activity, you need to do what they call an event request form, because now you're in 2 different divisions. So you cannot say, okay, what do you call Punho, can you come with us to this? Because they're not in your division. You have to fill out papers. So that was our biggest concern. And I know that Honolulu discussed it, and they came up with their own thoughts about how it should be done. And so I'm glad that the Kiwanis are also being very proactive. You know, thank you very much. Any other questions?
Ma, how much of a hassle is it to fill out the papers?
Actually, it used to be really hard. You can ask Fuch about that, because during her time, there was no such thing as electronic signatures. But now there's a list, and we can submit electronic signatures. And so it could be, you know, just email it to me, I sign it back, sign, you know, like that. And then send it to district, because that's what you have to do. And you know, you might think, well, why all of this? And the reason is because of insurance. Because of the way the insurance is. And so, for example, when we did RTC, thank you to Kiwani and Wayne Higa, he went and did all the insurance thing for us, filed it with the Kiwani, so if anybody got hurt, we would be all covered and we'd all be good. So that's kind of what it is all about. Yes?
I kind of walked in halfway, so I'm not sure if you discussed it, but convention would be just one.
Well,
how do we do
that? Well, that's a very good question. See, when you have RTC, because it's regional, everybody can come, no paperwork is needed, because it's sponsored by the region rather than a division. Right now, our convention is a Division 22 convention. To make it work, we'd have to change it to a Region 18 convention. Then everybody can come, we don't have to worry about the paperwork, the insurance, the everything. But then the next question that you should be asking me is, if we have a region convention, how do you do awards? Because there's no such thing as region awards. So each division has to do their own awards. And each division has to elect their own lieutenant governor. So this was the dilemma that we all went through last weekend. And so we have a plan A and a plan B. Plan A was if we divided into 3, only because we had to try and look for rooms, because that would be the maximum, we thought 3. So we said, okay, which rooms could go and how many people can fit and how do you do this? And plan B was, okay, we're just going to stay the same. We'll just all be in one room and just be Division 22. Okay? So that's the kind of the follow-up. But there's still some details that have to be worked out once the decision is made. And of course, the one good thing is, and I want you to know that we would never make the decision unilaterally, we would always do it collaboratively, and we would always ask you, just like we're asking you now.
Can I go back to my question then?
Yes!
So with the outer islands all being together, does the Kauai to Big Island become an issue because they have to stop at Oahu first?
No, only because, you mean when a lieutenant governor travels?
We have to travel and stuff.
No.
No? Okay. Because I know that was one thing we had brought up in one of our discussions.
Okay, no, because it's only travel, it's the travel. It's not like they're gonna, but if they're gonna stop, for example, the lieutenant governor stops and is invited to one of your projects, then there has to be paperwork.
No, but as far as cost for travel?
Because there's no direct flight.
No, there's no direct flight.
So the cost for Kauai to travel to Big Island or Maui would be kind of doubled, right?
Well, not quite, but yes, it's more. Luckily, Kauai has only 2, Big Island has only 2, so whoever travels, you would probably only have to go once for visitation. You know, like Kelly had to come here several times because there's 15 clubs, and there's no way she can do 15 in one day. But you could, like when she went to Kauai, she went once, and she did both of them. And we have to go back to Maui because they have only 4, but we couldn't do all 4. So yeah, there's some of that logistics that have to be figured out. But it's not to say that's the only way, because Honolulu came up with a different way, so it doesn't look exactly like that either. Other questions? Okay, so then I guess we're now back to Jensen's plan. You break up into your group, your clubs. You go look over those questions, and then we're going to have a vote. And one person who speaks for your club will vote, and so there's 10 votes. Okay? How long did you say? About 10?
I think a lot of good.
No, I don't know. 15 minutes. Can they do the refreshments now? Oh yeah. You know what? Jensen's going to go outside and get ready for the refreshments. So this would be an opportunity to go outside, get your drink, sit down, talk about it, discuss it, and then do it. Now or later, it doesn't matter.
Alright, so we're going to start off with Aya. You're going to say, for your paper, you're going to say what you chose? Or
Yeah, Paul. Are you going to do all the questions at the same time, or just one question at a time?
Okay. We're going to have, one question at a time. So we're going to start off with number 1, going down the line. When do you think we should realign?
We thought we should, well, most of the people in our club thought we should realign February 2013.
Castle agreed with that agreement.
Iolani also agrees.
Kaiser agrees as well.
Marinol as well.
I'm gonna break the chain and say Roosevelt. Roosevelt won it February 2014.
St. Louis too.
And I'm going to say we won in 2013.
Yeah.
Pro City won in February 2014.
Next, how many divisions do you think we should realign in the state of Hawaii?
Most of the people in our club thought we should realign into 3 divisions.
When I asked the club about it, we agreed that we wanted 2 divisions.
Iolani thinks 3 divisions.
Kaiser thinks 3 divisions.
Marinol thinks 3.
Idaho thinks 3.
Roosevelt thinks 3.
St. Louis thinks 2.
Probably says 3.
Pro City says 2.
If we realign into 2 divisions, how many would you like it to look? Well, how would you like to look?
But the people said 2 Oh, yeah. There are only 3 people.
St. Louis.
Oh. So we wanted to do the imaginary line, north and south.
Pro City chose Neighbor Islands as one division and Oahu as a separate division.
Castle decided the same as Pearl City.
We take that question a little differently, sorry.
We thought the question meant, like, okay, if we decide on 2 divisions, what would you want? Instead of, oh, we picked 2. So, you know, like, not skip to the next
Can
one.
we say
Whatever.
Okay.
We're open.
Okay, well, if we do go into 2 divisions, Kaiser would like to draw the imaginary line with the north and south.
What does that mean? Like, where's north and where's south?
She'll decide that.
Really annoyed with that.
Okay. If we realign into 3 divisions, how would you like it to look?
So maybe the first division would be all the outer island clubs, and then they get the $750. And then on Oahu, we can combine like Pearl Harbor Kiwanis and Kaneohe Kiwanis to be one division. And then Honolulu Kiwanis can be one division. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the idea. Okay.
Iolani thinks that.
Oh, yours it's
No, she did two this one.
Oh, do you want to say something now?
Okay.
Okay. So Iolani thinks that with the 3 divisions, there should be the divisions with the Kiwanis clubs, but then also dividing those into 3, we'd also take in one outer island, and we understand that that would take a little bit more money, but I think it's worth it because you keep that connection with the outer islands, because it really doesn't make the division if it's just us separated from everybody else. Hawaii Key Club is with all the islands, not just one and everybody else.
So Kaiser Key Club, if we did realign into 3 divisions, we would want each Kiwanis club on Oahu to be paired up with an island. So we're thinking that Honolulu Kiwanis could be paired up with Kauai, and then Pearl Harbor would be paired up with the Big Island, and then Kaneohe would be Kaneohe Executive and the Alakai Club. Kiwanis would be paired up with Maui, and we figured that if all clubs donated $50, it would offset the costs, and it would still keep like the traveling, and so we wouldn't be set off to the side like
And I'll pick A, which is neighbor islands as 1 division and Oahu as 2 divisions. No.
Is it Alakai or Alakai?
Alakai.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. Okay, so if it was 3, we like Honolulu Kiwanis Club's idea of splitting Kaneohe and Honolulu as 1, Maui and Big Island as 1, Pearl Harbor, Kauai, and Alakai together.
Roosevelt agreed with what he said.
So Kaneohe and Honolulu as 1. Maui and Big Island as 1, and then Pearl Harbor, Kauai, and Alakai.
Okay, so St. Louis thought that if we realign the 3 divisions, we want the neighbor islands as 1 division and Oahu as 2.
Waipahu says that we should realign by sponsoring Kiwanis.
Pro City thought the neighbor islands as 1 division and Oahu as 2.
Does anyone have anything else to say about this? I'll collect your
Oh, I didn't write the line.
Don't, do you guys don't say anything?
We don't care. Oh. Okay, it's not. If they want to write the name, they can. That's me.
Yeah, he's gonna sit down. Oh, okay, yeah.
I think that we all, just from what happened just now, we all kind of agree that if we're going to realign, we might as well just do it already. So that's what we're going to plan for. Is that right, Div Team? Kelly? Jensen, Collins? Okay. I think that we also agreed that we would do 3, but the how the 3 has been very creative. And I'll be very honest with you, I thought the Div Team and their discussion last weekend came up with some good ideas, but you have come up with some different ideas that we haven't come up with. So when the proposal, I think, needs for further discussion. So I don't know if this is the time or what, but it's something that I want you folks to think about, because doing the neighbor islands, one neighbor island with an Oahu club, you know, is an interesting concept, but it's not one that we had even discussed, yeah? So, that's interesting. We need to look at that, and maybe before Kelly sends a recommendation, She's gonna put this together with what the other islands say, and she will email it to the advisors and to the club officers. And you can have another opportunity to look at it and whatever before she sends it to Mr. Fields. I think that's what we have to do. Is that okay? Because then you can still comment on it. Okay? And maybe we have to change it if it's not what you think the majority have said. How much does an LTG cost?
What's your cost, Kenny? What number for us? I mean, we said 750. That's why. But when we were in our discussion, it's like, what does 750 really mean?
750 is only for her inter-island travel.
So, but as far as overall, like how much? I mean, like, does she do a lot of traveling, or like?
So far, she's done 6 trips.
And that 750 has covered that 6 trips, or we put in more than?
We actually paid for one of her trips from leftover money that we had from convention. Last year we had leftover money because remember, Central Pacific Bank gave us money that we had allotted for our service project. So the $1,000 we had allotted for service project, which they gave us, because they gave us $2,000, and we went and spent all their $2,000. We actually had that extra. So that's why I was able to bring the div team to Hilo when we did our RTC training, and to bring Kelly and Kauai and Maui person to Honolulu when we did the walkthrough last week at Ala Moana. So that blew our $1,000 right there. But it's okay because it's all to benefit everybody. So if you're talking about money, it can be a lot, it can be a little. Because for example, let's say that Kaiser or Honolulu is paired with Kauai. So the lieutenant governor is on Kauai and they have to come, they have to visit 7 clubs. They probably can't do 7 clubs in one visit. But if the lieutenant governor is here at Kaiser, I mean, for example, you have one, and they have to go to Kauai, in one trip they can do both Kauai and Kapaa. See, so it's hard to just say definitively how much it really is going to cost. The regional things, I think that somehow I have to find the money for that. So if we change the convention to a regional convention and a regional training conference, then I need to make sure I have the money to spend for them to travel, the lieutenant governors to travel for that. And you need to know that each lieutenant governor is allowed 2 assistants. So it's 9 people instead of 6 people now.
So now we'll move on to 2013 CNH District Convention. It'll be held on March 22nd to 24th in 2012 and 2013 in Anaheim, California. So we are very fortunate this year that the convention is being held during our spring break, so we won't be missing school. The cost to attend is not known at this time.
I can tell you the registration fee is $165. It does not include your hotel. Last year, Jensen, was $225, yeah? So as the hotel, ground transportation was $225. Yeah. So you'd have to think of 165 plus about 225 or change, whatever. Might be a little bit more because Anaheim is more expensive than San Jose, and the plane fare. Yeah. So give or take, because by the time you pay for Disneyland, if you're going to Disneyland, you're talking about $1,000.
Okay, so it's around that.
I would say.
Okay. So if you're interested in attending DCON, then please let Kelly and Mrs. Masuhara know so that they can make arrangements. But Mr. Iwanaga will reorder. And also let Mr. Iwanaga, because you were interested. Yeah. Okay. So Key Club Week was held this past November 5th to 9th. So hopefully all of you guys participated. So does anyone want to share what they did for Key Club Week? No one? Kat?
Yeah.
So Iolani, on Monday it was show your case. So since our Key Club shirts are out of dress code, we encouraged everybody to wear their pins and wear Key Club colors, even though they're like Punahou colors. Sorry, Punahou, but it was So we wore the gold, blue, and white. On Tuesday it was kudos to the key players. So we had packaged hugs and kisses for every single faculty and staff of Iolani School. And then we distributed that. And then on Wednesday we did bring a friend to Key Club because our meetings are on Wednesdays, not Thursdays. And then on Thursday we kind of just took a break, but we did cards and stuff. So we could send out holiday cards to all you guys because we really appreciate all of the cards and holiday stuff that we get from all of you guys. So thank you for that. And yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else want to share? Otherwise I'm going to call on you guys. Gina.
I know you're going to do that.
Okay. Kaiser didn't do key class.
It was a bad week.
Yeah.
Just to let you know.
Yeah.
We had all our class days that week, that's why. So we had the 12th and 9th graders missing on the Monday. Tuesday was the election day, and then we had 11th and 10th graders missing on the Friday. So it was a little hard for us to run Kiko. I know we could have done something the other day. I understand that, but yeah, it was a little hard.
That's okay, Kaiser does it every week.
Yeah, exactly. It was no different week for us. We participated every day.
Does anyone else want to share?
Courtney.
Well,
would like. Okay. On Monday we did the same thing as RTC, where we made beads and we passed it out to the members. Tuesday we didn't have school. Wednesday we just put on the announcement about what Key Club was. Thursday, since we didn't have school on Tuesday, we combined it on Thursday with kudos to the key players. Bring a friend, and we gave out awards for members with the most hours, member of the quarter, and the most members with since the Key Club year started. And Friday we had a social.
That's good. Great. Thank you, Courtney. If your club has pictures from Key Club Week, you guys want to share it or write an article about it, please submit it to Division News Editor Jennifer. So trick or treat for UNICEF. I hope you guys had a great time decorating your UNICEF boxes and collected a lot of money. So your contribution to UNICEF will go towards Project Eliminate, that is working toward to get rid of maternal and neonatal tetanus, or MNT. And if your club has not already submitted your UNICEF money, please do that ASAP.
And when you do it, please on your MRF indicate that you did UNICEF, how much money you donated, and make sure that when you check the projects, it's also a district project, because district project is Jumpstart, where you help young children, and these are unborn children, so I guess they qualify. They're young.
Now we're going to move on to new business. So member recognition. Start thinking about which contests and awards your club would like to participate in this year. Club evaluation. We're halfway through the 2012 to 2013 Key Club year. And this is a great time for you to reflect on the past months and evaluate how your club is doing. Use this to help you plan for the upcoming months, helping to achieving club goals as well as division goals.
If I can say one thing, when you do your MRF, I don't know how many of you look at the bottom navigation bar where it says annual report. Hit the annual report button and go all the way down, because you don't fill that in, it kind of fills in from your MRF. And the one thing Kelly told me was, she looked at where everybody was in October of 2011, and where they are October 2012. And she said that
Last year, ending of last year.
oh, ending of last year? Oh,
With Keegan gave me all the final AARs.
and when was that for? Up until February?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, from February of last year and then this year, she looked at this, the AAR scores, and almost every single club, right, was significantly higher. And if you remember last year, the number of distinguished clubs and number of diamond distinguished was a little confusing because the district changed the numbers on us. But this year, you folks are all doing fabulous, so I'm sure that you'll all hopefully get some award because of the good works that you folks are doing. So we want to thank you for that. Don't forget that when you fill out your MRF that you check all the boxes, and some of you paid your dues and you didn't write down I paid the dues, so you should need to do that on your MRF. Because when you do that, your score goes up automatically 20 points. Okay, thank you.
Okay. A form should have been sent to your club. If you have not filled it out yet. Oh, not yet. Never mind, not yet. But when she does, have it filled out and send it to. Wait. Did you send it to you, Kelly? Or just send himself? Okay, once she sends that to you, fill it out and send it back to Kelly.
She's going to ask you first to do a kind of like a reflection.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I just heard.
Okay, so once your club has completed, I just said that. Okay, Thanksgiving. This month we celebrate Thanksgiving. It's a time to be thankful for all that we have. So take time this month to thank those who show continuous support to your club. So that includes your Kiwanis, advisors, and officers, and even members. Also thank those who, message from your LTG.
And also don't forget to thank your parents because they are your number one supporters. They brought you here and they're supporting you through everything. But for me, I just want to thank you all for working so very hard this year. You guys have accomplished so much only halfway through our Key Club year, and I know you accomplished a lot more in the next half of the year. Your AAR scores are higher than the ending of last year, so great job on that. Keep up the great work, and thank you for all that you do for your homeschooling community. You guys are the reasons why I serve, and I thank you for that. So, good job.
So, announcements. The next DCM, haven't planned that one yet. Monthly submissions, monthly report forms. So, November MRFs will be due on Monday, December 3rd. Please send those to Kelly, Colin, Mrs. Masuhara, your faculty and Kiwanis advisors, your club president and inspector, and me. Division newsletter submissions. The deadline for November newsletter submissions will be Monday, December 3rd, and also send those to the same people I just named, along with the CNH district newsletter submissions. So the division council meeting is adjourned at 3:58.
Ding!
Ooh.